Well, I was raised in a traditional Jewish American home. And so what that looked like was we observed all the Jewish holidays. However, we did not keep kosher like the Orthodox Jewish people did. So I just have to admit, my Uncle Harvey did come over with the best tasting lobsters. Yet when my brother and I would come home from school, the public school system, we didn't have the typical American snacks like mac and cheese or cheese sandwiches or cookies and milk. We had something called gefilte fish that sat in a jar and looked like a science experiment. Lucky us, huh? Yeah, so as I got older and I graduated college, I started to have an affinity towards my Jewish roots, and before long, I began observing a lot of the holidays with an Orthodox Jewish family. And it was during one particular Yom Kippur service, which is the Day of Atonement, that I turned to God and I said to him, Lord, I want to know you. And that was during a day that I was, fasting and praying and just really obviously seeking him, because a year later, exactly, God answered that prayer. I had just bantered or gone back and forth with a Christian friend of mine, and I eventually came to faith. He absolutely fulfilled Romans 11 through 15 with me. He provoked me absolutely to jealousy. And so much so that I left my career, moved to North Carolina, and started seminary at a Southern Baptist seminary when I didn't even know who the Southern Baptists were. And so there I was, and on the very first day, the president called all the new students up during chapel and just asked us to get on our knees and just pray and ask God, why are you here? And so I took that seriously, and I went up front and I prayed, and not even a week later did the very first non-believing Jewish person come into my life that I shared the gospel with. And I would spend 2 years sharing the gospel with quite a few Jewish people, some of whom, praise God, have come to faith. And so between my professors, my pastor, and friends, one thing led to another, because everybody agreed I was called to Jewish ministry, and I transferred into the Charles Feinberg Center, which you guys have been hearing about. It's a partnership between Chosen People Ministry and Biola University, but it's also an accredited program where we receive a degree through Biola, but in their School of Theology, Talbot. And so I have to admit, I just graduated this past May with my MDiv in Messianic Jewish Studies, and I learned much more about my Jewish roots in this program than I ever did growing up in a Jewish home or hanging out in an Orthodox family or with an Orthodox family. And so I have to say, I know Rich mentioned my burden. I wasn't prepared to mention that, but my testimony is so much more than what I'm sharing with you now, but I definitely have an extremely strong heart towards abused women. And I am just so excited that God has absolutely equipped me to work within the Orthodox community, because it is so prevalent there. And I'm just really excited. Within 30 days of living in Midwood, Brooklyn, God has already opened up a door for me to be within an Orthodox family's home, and they're just loving me and accepting me even though I'm a believer in Jesus. And I'm just absolutely excited for what's in store for my future. I know God has great plans. So thank you for listening. Take care.